In 1946, Juan Perón became president for the first time, but was overthrown in a military coup in 1955. In 1973, he returned from exile to the presidency, which triggered numerous violent encounters between left and right-wing supporters. In 1974, Perón died, and his wife Isabel took over to head one of the most incompetent administrations in Argentine history. On March 26, 1976, the army overthrew the government in a coup that was widely supported. What resulted after the coup was one of the most ruthless dictatorships in the history of Latin America. It is estimated that 30,000 people were disappeared in some of the most horrific ways imaginable in the hunt for subversives. Many of the best and brightest of a generation were wiped out by a cruel and paranoid military. Some believe that part of the responsibility lies with the general population, renowned for their passivity. One group who have never been passive have been the mothers of the Plaza de Mayo, who since the late 1970s have marched every Thursday demanding justice and accountability for the disappearance of their children. The military was as incompetent in managing the economy as they were cruel in governing, and by 1982, the country was in economic crisis. As a last desperate attempt to maintain power and unite the citizenry, they launched an invasion of the disputed territory of the Falkland Islands, or Malvinas. In a real war, the military proved inept and were handily defeated by the British. Many innocent young Argentines lost their lives in a cynical display of authority. With nothing else left, the military agreed to hand over power. On December 10, 1983, Dr. Raúl Alfonsín of the Radical Party won the presidential election. Many military leaders were tried and imprisoned. However, on February 14, 1984, Alfonsín declared the due obedience law, prohibiting prosecution of those who were just following orders. In December 1986, Alfonsín set February 23, 1987 as punto final, a cutoff date for all trials, meaning many torturers and murderers never saw trial. In October 1989, President Carlos Menem exonerated the ex-commanders of the dictatorship still facing trial. On December 29, 1990, he pardoned imprisoned commanders in the name of national reconciliation, continuing the long history of impunity. Alfonsín was as unsuccessful in the economic field as the military, and in 1989, amid looting, hyperinflation, and economic and social chaos, many believe were organized and/or encouraged by the Peronist opposition, Alfonsín resigned the presidency 6 months early, and elections were called.
Vieja, prepara la perorata, que esta noche doña Cata viene con la ingrata historia de pagar el alquiler. Y yo que estoy tan cansado de no poder invitarle a mi germo y a la nena ni siquiera una porción. Hoy buscando
Argentina is a country with a vast terrain, a wide abundance of natural resources, the capacity to be self-sufficient in food production, and a beautiful countryside. The capital is European in many respects, while the interior of the country is very much underdeveloped.